We live on an amazing planet, but it's not unlimited. Think of Earth like a giant, beautiful terrarium. Everything we need is inside, but nothing new can get in, and nothing we create can truly leave. That means the resources we use are finite, and the pollution we create stays right here. The environmental problems we're facing now, the environmental challenges, are the result of human activity, and they require urgent, critical thinking to solve. This is the ultimate test for our generation. When we talk about the environment, the biggest headline is always climate change. It's not just that it feels a little warmer each summer. It's a fundamental, long-term shift in global weather patterns. The main cause is the massive amount of greenhouse gases, especially carbon dioxide, that we release by burning things like coal, oil, and gas for energy. This is essentially trapping heat in the atmosphere, leading to the overall warming trend. So how does this actually work? The atmosphere naturally contains gases that act like the glass roof of a greenhouse or a big cozy blanket. Solar energy comes in, warms the earth, and some of that heat tries to escape back into space. The greenhouse gases like CO2 capture and redirect that heat back down to the surface. This is good because it keeps Earth habitable, but when we add too many of these gases, the blanket gets too thick and the planet overheats. One of the most immediate and scary consequences of a warming planet is rising sea levels. This happens in two ways. First, the melting of massive ice sheets and glaciers adds more water to the oceans. Second, water actually expands when it gets warmer, a process called thermal expansion. For millions of people living in low-lying coastal cities, like New York or Shanghai, or on small island nations, this is an existential threat as their homes are gradually submerged. It might seem contradictory, but a warming world means more unpredictable and intense weather. We're seeing more devastating extreme weather events. Warmer ocean water provides more energy for hurricanes and cyclones, making them stronger. Meanwhile, changes in rainfall patterns cause prolonged droughts in some areas and record-breaking floods in others. These intense events are expensive, dangerous, and a direct symptom of climate imbalance. Forests are often called the lungs of the earth because trees literally breathe in carbon dioxide. Deforestation, the permanent clearing of these forests, is a double whammy. Not only do we lose the trees that are absorbing carbon dioxide, but burning the cleared vegetation releases even more carbon dioxide into the atmosphere. It also destroys the fragile topsoil and the habitats of millions of species. When we talk about biodiversity loss, we're talking about the permanent extinction of animal and plant species. Human activity, clearing forests, polluting oceans, and spreading invasive species is destroying habitats at an alarming rate. Imagine a complex machine losing pieces one by one. Eventually, it stops working. Losing species disrupts the ecosystem balance that provides us with clean air, clean water, and even new medicines. Water is life, but we are increasingly spoiling our water sources. Water pollution happens when toxic chemicals from industry, runoff from farms, or untreated sewage enter rivers, lakes, and oceans. One devastating effect is eutrophication, where excessive nutrients cause massive algae blooms that suck the oxygen out of the water, creating vast underwater dead zones where nothing can survive. This affects the fishing industry and human health. Thank you. Walk outside in a major metropolitan area and you might literally see the problem hanging in the air pollution. This is often visible as smog, a hazy mix of pollutants, primarily from vehicle exhaust and industrial factories. Breathing this air poses serious health risks, particularly for children and the elderly, leading to asthma and other respiratory diseases. It's a localized, daily environmental challenge that affects quality of life in every major city. Plastic is a miracle material, But it's now become a major problem because it lasts practically forever. Unlike paper or food waste, most plastic does not biodegrade. It just breaks down into smaller pieces called microplastics. Trillions of pieces of plastic are now accumulating in landfills and the ocean, creating enormous garbage patches and causing direct harm to marine animals who mistake it for food. This plastic cycle is contaminating every part of the globe. Earth's resources aren't infinite. Resource depletion occurs when we use something up faster than nature can replace it. This is most obvious with fossil fuels. Oil and coal are non-renewable, meaning when they're gone, they're gone. But we also deplete renewable resources like fresh water and fertile topsoil through overuse and poor management. We have to learn to live within our planet's ecological budget. Imagine once fertile farmland turning to dust. That's desertification, the process where productive land becomes barren desert. This is largely caused by human activity, removing trees that anchor the soil, deforestation, allowing too many animals to graze, overgrazing, and improper farming techniques. Desertification reduces the amount of land available to grow food, which in turn leads to poverty and can force people to migrate. The age of technology has given us a new toxic problem: electronic waste or e-waste. Every time you upgrade your phone or computer, the old one ends up somewhere. These devices contain valuable metals, but also highly toxic substances like lead, mercury, and cadmium. If improperly dumped, this e-waste leaches poison into the soil and water, posing a serious threat to communities, especially in places where it's dismantled without proper safety measures. You might not think of sound as pollution, but noise pollution is a real threat. It's the excessive or unwanted sound that disrupts life. Constant noise from city traffic, airports, or construction can cause stress, anxiety, and sleep disorders in humans. For animals, it's even more disruptive. Underwater noise from ships, for instance, interferes with how whales and dolphins communicate and navigate, harming their survival. So what's the big goal? It's sustainable development. This concept is about ensuring that we can meet our current needs, having enough food, water, and resources without completely destroying the environment and using up all the resources that future generations will need. It's a balancing act that requires us to integrate three things: a healthy economy, a just society, and a protected environment. The single most important step in fighting climate change is transitioning to renewable energy. This means ditching the fossil fuels and relying on naturally replenished sources like the sun, solar, the wind turbines, and flowing water, hydroelectric. This power shift is essential because it allows us to power our societies without releasing the greenhouse gases that are trapping heat in the atmosphere. Beyond where we get our energy, we need to focus on conservation and efficiency. Conservation is simply using less, taking shorter showers, turning off lights, or choosing public transit. Efficiency means using less energy to do the same amount of work, like replacing old appliances with modern, energy-efficient models. When everyone adopts these habits, the collective demand for scarce resources drops significantly. Since the atmosphere and oceans cross all borders, environmental challenges require international cooperation. Global agreements, like the Paris Agreement, bring countries together to set targets for reducing emissions. Governments must also enact local laws and regulations, like pollution control standards for factories or incentives for buying electric cars, to translate these big global goals into real-world action. Technology isn't just the cause of some problems, it's also a key part of the solution. Innovation is essential. Scientists are currently working on incredible solutions, like machines that can actually capture carbon dioxide right out of the air, or finding ways to break down tough plastic using specialized bacteria. New technologies can help us adapt to the changes that are already happening and hopefully reverse some of the damage we've caused. The massive scale of these challenges can feel overwhelming, but remember, the solution begins with you. Your choices matter. Embracing the reduce, reuse, recycle principle in your daily life is a powerful personal step. More importantly, educate yourself on these issues and hold your leaders accountable. Understanding these environmental challenges is the first crucial step toward becoming an active, responsible citizen of the planet.